Welcome to the Angelscapes podcast, where you're encouraged to uncover and develop a direct connection with your soul's power, wisdom, and spiritual intuition that is ready to blossom. We'll explore new ideas, compelling tips, and real steps to help you learn simple spiritual practices. We're a safe place to learn more about accessing your soul's power with education and spiritual wholeness that could bring more clarity to your life. Now here's your host, a practicing medium, Akashic Records practitioner, spirit artist, coach, and mentor, Dr. Reverend Nancy Smith.
Hearing or sensing unexplainable things? And are you pretending that they aren't really happening? It's time to ask, what is paranormal activity? Joining me tonight is Beth Columbo, an in-depth conversation. She's a paranormal investigator. We're going to have an in-depth conversation about spirits and paranormal activity. And we're going to talk about what Beth finds at the locations she visits and what tools she uses to observe the activity. And Beth will explain why paranormal activity takes place. And we'll talk about its safety and the different experiences and the things that she does to prepare. And how does Beth do paranormal investigation? And are there different kinds of spirits? Lots and lots of questions. So Beth is a spiritual medium. She's a Reiki master teacher, and she teaches mediumship privately. She's a very talented teacher. I highly recommend her. And she is the past president of the First Spiritual Church of Quincy for about 4 years. She is founder of the Southwest Boston Paranormal Society. And Beth has visited many haunted locations for over the years, gathering evidence that there is life after death. And we're going to have a really great show with pictures, and she's going to explain what she's seen. And I'm really excited about that. She uses her mediumistic abilities as well as her paranormal equipment to communicate with spirit. Beth will be teaching a class, All Things Paranormal, at Lilydale on August 23rd. And she's also going to be at the Barilka Spiritualist Church on October 1st. So we're going to talk more about that, Beth, as we move along. But welcome. I'm so excited to have you. We've been trying to do this for like months, right?
Yep. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're so welcome. So I am really excited to talk to you because you're a spiritualist, because we have that same platform to talk about. But this isn't a topic a lot of spiritualists talk about or study, unless I'm wrong. So tell me about your interest in when you got started.
Well, I always knew that there was spirit because as a small child, I can remember seeing somebody staring over my crib at me in the middle of the night, believe it or not. So, and I grew up in a house that had spirits in it. So that was common knowledge in my house. So I was comfortable with it and so forth. Mm-hmm. As far as when I started doing paranormal investigations, I want to say that probably started about 10 years ago. Okay. Doing simple things with like a ghost box and things like that. And then it just progressed from there. I started doing different haunted locations and things like that. So
what is a ghost box?
Well, a ghost box is, well, there's a couple of different kinds. There's an actual ghost box that takes in its scans AM/FM signals. And the premise behind it is that spirits are able to manipulate and pick out words as the signals, the channels are being scanned, and they're able to make intelligent sentences with it. There's also apps that you can buy on your, like a Windows-based tablet that scans, but you don't hear that noise because a regular ghost box goes and you don't want to listen to that stuff. But the other one just filters out the noise. And then there's also an Ovilus that just says words. Okay. So you can actually communicate that way. But they actually come out with intelligent sentences. And I'll tell you a little bit of a story. You know that I was with Mavis Patilla for 3 years. And
I know. I thought about you the first when, as soon as I heard that something happened, and thought about you right away. Tell me about your story.
So I did an investigation, and I put a video on Facebook of the ghost box talking, and it was actually calling my name. And it was talking about a surgery that I had. I had cancer 4 years ago. It was
I'm so
talking
sorry.
about a surgery that I had coming up. And she had seen the video. So she says, the next time she comes to Boston, will you take the ghost box there? And I said, absolutely. So I did. That morning, she had a problem. She had a lot of backaches and so forth.
Mhm.
And she went to lay down for an hour. And then when she came back, we played with the ghost box. Well, who comes on the ghost box but Gordon Higginson? In his voice,
Really?
in his voice. And one of the first things he said to her was, Mavis, how is your back? We all almost fell on the floor. It was crazy. And she was so touched by it. She, you know, after she talked to him, she said, am I teaching it right, Gordon? Am I teaching it? And he, affirmed that, yes, she was.
Sweet.
And she was so touched by it. She actually walked out of the room crying, and she come over to me later and she says, I want to thank you so much for that. She
Oh my
says,
goodness.
because I have not allowed myself to hear his voice since he passed away. And this is the first time I've actually heard his voice.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it was an amazing story, really was.
That is. So Mavis was close to Gordon. She knew him.
That was, oh yeah, that was her,
Yeah.
that was her mentor.
Oh my goodness.
She used
My
to travel to
goodness.
churches with him
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So they were
Oh my
very, very
gosh.
close.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is an amazing story. That warms my heart, and it just changes how I look at things. So Gordon said, Mavis, how was your back doing?
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
That's great. So you started doing investigations. So you're playing with the ghost box and you're kind of looking at stuff, but then I think investigation is another step further. Tell me about that.
So when we go to a house, we take several pieces of equipment with us. I have a thermal camera, and you'll see in one of those pictures, the one at Lilydale that was taken. What it does is it shows live people in pinks and reds and oranges, but it shows spirit people in blues, because obviously real people have a heat signature and spirit people really don't. So that's how it shows them. I also take what's called a full spectrum digital camera, and it uses a red light for its flash, and it takes pictures in the dark, but it shows up the spirits in the picture. I use a laser grid that points at the wall, and if a spirit should walk by, it actually shows the whole shape of the spirit. And that's what I was starting to tell you about at the church. We did that at the church and put it towards the front door because something was knocking at the front door when we were in that night. So kiddingly, Kim went over to the front door and says, oh, you want to come in? She opened up the door and shut it. And then she walked to the side and sat down. And then after she sat down, you could actually see the shape of a spirit walking in the front door. So
no kidding.
yeah, some of the equipment that they have now is really something else. We use a flashlight to communicate with, those mag lights that you twist the end.
Yeah.
They'll actually turn them off and on when you ask questions.
Okay.
We use REM pods, which is if a spirit gets close to it, it'll go off. It lights up and it goes off. It
Oh my
makes a
goodness.
pleasant noise. What else? I have an SLS camera that shows people in full body, but then it shows spirit as a stick figure. And you'll see one of the pictures that I sent you with that.
I have it. Oh, I'd love to play with that. Yeah. Wow.
Then you use a nice recorder to do EVPs, ask questions and then wait. And then sometimes they'll answer you. You'll hear a disembodied voice. I'm trying to think what else I would use. Temperature gauge. We have these little balls that you have to actually press the button for them to light up, but they can manipulate those. We've taken motion sensor dolls with us, because if they go near the dolls go off.
No kidding. Wow.
What else we use? Yeah, that's pretty much what I have in my arsenal of tools.
That sounds like a truckload full of stuff.
Oh, yeah. It is. Oh, I have a teddy bear that plays music if they get near the teddy bear and it lights up.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is good when there's children, spirit children. They like to play with that.
So are you afraid of the spirits when you do the investigation? Is there any sense of emotion before that?
No, like I had told you before, what we do is we wear crystals to protect ourselves. We put ourselves in white light, and I'm not afraid of them. I mean, there has been some things that have happened, but for the love of God, thank God, nothing bad happened
you.
to us, and you know.
Okay, all right. Well, good. There is a physical mediumship. It's a real thing, and it's not prevalent or as big right now as it used to be. It used to be huge back in the day. Could paranormal be kind of physical mediumship?
Well, we've actually used tables.
Mhm.
You know that I
You did
was
table tipping. You were huge, and
for
you
many
still
for
are.
many years.
Yeah.
No, I haven't done it in the past since the pandemic. I haven't done it.
Okay.
But we have used tables to communicate with spirits. In fact, we used it once in the church, and I don't know if you're aware or not, but there's a little girl spirit in our church.
Oh,
And the mother of the little girl came on the table. And there's a picture downstairs with people standing in front of the church. If you go downstairs, you'll see it.
yeah. It's a whole group of, yeah. It's old
She
from the
told us,
1800s. Yeah.
yep, she told us which one was the little girl and which one was her in the picture.
No way.
And she even
Wow.
said the year. And if you turn the picture over, the years on the picture.
Oh my gosh.
So
Beth, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So what's the most haunted place you've ever investigated?
I want to say so far, probably the Shanley Hotel and the USS Salem in Quincy, the ship, the naval ship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff in there one time.
Now this is the USS Salem is which ship is that the old wooden ship with
No, it's not wooden. It's a regular naval ship that was around,
okay.
I think in the 30s, 40s, somewhere
Okay,
around there.
gotcha. Yeah, I've been on that wooden I forget the name of it.
Ironsides.
Ironsides, and I walked in there and I felt a lot there. That anyway. So when something's haunted, what is the difference between having a place that's haunted and then having spirit communication in the table tipping? Would you say Quincy Church was haunted, or would you say that through your mediumship, spirit showed up? Do you understand the question? Because people seem to think haunted is they're stuck there or something.
I don't consider it being stuck there haunted.
Okay.
There's different types of spirits. I just feel Quincy Church just has some spirits in it. I'm not
Yeah.
saying haunting, but
Okay.
they do things like when I was teaching on Wednesday nights, they used to tons of knocking on the ceiling
Okay. Yeah.
and things like that, you know. But
Years and years ago when I taught there just for a couple of years, I could hear people walking downstairs. I
Yep.
hear them. And
yeah,
I'm like, I thought I locked that door. Yeah.
yeah.
Then I realized, oh yeah, you did lock the door. But so is there a difference can you say a haunting, there could be hauntings that are a little bit different than the spirit communications, or is
Oh,
it there are different
absolutely. I
kinds?
mean,
Okay.
there's, like I said, there's different kind of hauntings. There's like there's like interactive ghosts, which are people that have lived and just hang around in a certain spot because they're familiar with the spot.
Yeah. Okay.
There's poltergeist, which is the one that everybody's afraid of because you know, they think it's like a demon or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of haunting that things move, things get thrown.
Mhm.
Like I had something thrown at me one night. I forget what it was. I think it was a fork or something. I had a fork thrown at me one night. Doors will open and shut. That's a poltergeist type of haunting.
Okay.
The ones that we basically deal with is like an intelligent haunting, which is spirits that are willing to
Spirits.
communicate.
Okay. What's
Yeah.
a non-intelligent haunting then? Is a
There's-
poltergeist an intelligent haunting? Is that something? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Well, there is residual energy,
Okay, residual energy.
which is, it's not really, you can't communicate with those spirits. What that is something happened, like a traumatic thing happened, and the memory cell of that happening stayed in
Okay.
that spot, and it just keeps playing over and over and over again.
Okay. And that's not spirit, that's energy.
That
Okay.
energy.
Okay. the poltergeists, are they intelligent spirit that can communicate, or are they, what is that level?
I believe that they can communicate, but they're more of like the trickster type of ghosts that do things that, they move the remote, they shut the doors, they whatever.
Okay, yeah. My daughter was in her dorm room. They had the college was short of dorms, and so they bought an old, it used to be an old folks home, and they fixed up the rooms in an apartment. She lived in there. She thought, my daughter, she's got something going on, but she's not going to admit it. Well, the cabinets used to open and shut, and then sometimes the glasses would move out of the cabinets, and it got me thinking. You'll have somebody in that room and nothing will happen, and then you'll have a certain type of person in that room and something will happen. Can somebody have the energy within them that triggers the spirit to do something? What's that all about?
Well, I know with the poltergeist, they used to say that it was very common with a teenage girl that's going through puberty that sends out a certain sort of energy that draws that type of energy to the house.
Oh,
Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but that's what I've read in books and so forth. So I don't know. Your daughter's a daughter, so maybe that's what's going on with her.
I think she has some mediumship stuff, and I know that there's some mediums who are physical mediumships and some who are mental mediumships. We have more mental mediumships nowadays, but there's a gift within that person that causes physical things to happen, and I thought maybe you could comment on that. Or
I'm not so sure if that's what's physical medium
okay.
is. Yeah, I don't know.
It could be confusing things.
Yeah.
I'm curious, yeah. But again, but you know what I'm talking about? It's like sometimes nothing will happen, and then somebody else will go and it's all happening, and that person I think can be like a battery or something to the spirit, maybe. Or
Well, that's goes back to what I was talking about earlier. There's
Yeah.
some sort of energy that people throw off that cause
Right.
things to happen
Yeah,
like
to happen.
so.
Yeah. So have you ever been touched by spirit? Have you ever felt the physical?
Yes, yes. Like I said to you earlier, I've been poked, I've been pinched, I've been pushed.
Yeah.
I've had them stroke my hair, I've had them
Oh,
rub my back. Yeah. And I told you, when we were at the Shanley down in the cellar there, they choked Kim.
oh, yeah. You told me
So
that
there is
before the
that, yeah,
show. Yeah,
yeah.
that's not good.
No.
That what do you do in that case? Do you say that's enough, or do you?
Well, no, well, she did. I said to her, just tell them to back off, back away from you. And she got scared and she says, I'm leaving. She left the cellar. So,
Okay, so she just left.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Because in mediumship, sometimes spirit comes too close and you can feel them and they're just rattling your bones, and you say, okay, I got the message, back off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that in meditation, when I'm with my spirit guides, I can feel them touch me. And they're very comforting on my hand or around my shoulders, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
then in Reiki, you can give somebody in your Reiki person healing, and your hands travel in certain positions. And many people will say, how many hands do you have? Because you're at the head, and then you're at my shoulders, and then you're, and all, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So there is that energy that goes around. And I'm assuming it's probably the same energy. It's similar, but why do you think you said spirits could linger? I know bars and movie houses and entertainment places, there's usually a lot of spirits hanging out because it's entertaining and there's a lot of stuff going on. But then some spirits will linger in a place. I don't think I've ever lived in a house that wasn't haunted. I'll be honest with you. But and I know, why are you here? There's a reason usually why they're there. But why do you think they linger around?
Well, because they enjoy the place,
Okay.
I mean, it's entertaining, but they felt comfortable there at some point in their life, and that's why they hang out there.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about a lot of stuff. Is there anything you want to add? And because I think I'd like to dive into those photos you sent. They're so juicy.
Well, I would like to tell you one story. sure I'm not going to say his last name, but I have a really good friend, George, that passed away a couple of years ago. And you want to talk about things happening in the house, and it's spirit related. It's not ghost related. Well, I suppose he could be a ghost, but it's spirit related. And it was not long after he passed, and I had this lamp that was a touch lamp. And I walked in my bedroom, and the touch lamp lit up real bright, and it wasn't on. And then it shut itself back down. And I was thinking of George before this happened.
Oh.
So I have a video of it on my page. And so I says, George, is that you? And all of a sudden it lit right up again. And I says to him, okay, are you just here to like make me laugh? And he shut it down, and then he turned it back on again. And we had a whole conversation through this clip. It was absolutely crazy. So things like that can happen too. It doesn't mean that it's a ghost type situation. It's a spirit type situation.
Well, explain to me a haunting, ghost, and spirit. What's the difference here?
I don't think there's much of a difference. I mean, like I said, there's different kinds of spirits, different kinds of ghosts. I mean, you see an orb in a picture, that's a spirit.
Oh,
that's
right.
actually their soul in a round shape flying through the air. You see a funnel ghost, which if you ever saw it on a picture, you'd see like a white misty type of, well, I don't want to call it mist, a white blob in the middle of the picture. That's a spirit. Ectomist, I don't know if you've ever seen an ectomist. It travels through a picture, or it travels through a video. We have Judy Ramos and we did the Lizzie Borden house. We have videos of ectomist coming through the door and covering us. I'm trying to think what other kind of. There's shadow people. When we did the ship, we saw shadow people.
What are the shadow people? Or shadows of people, or what?
And no, it's a big black shadow of a person. If you ever came face to face, they don't really have a face. They just have holes where their eyes are. But it's that type of shadow, that type of ghost that you see something out of the corner of your eye, but then you go to look and it's not there. That's a shadow person.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, was there anything else?
So you're describing them by how they present to you.
Yeah.
Not necessarily their personalities or what they do. This is just how they're presenting.
How they present. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a haunting, how would you describe a haunting?
How would I describe a haunting? Well, I suppose a haunting is any type of spirit that's in a place that you go to, whether it be a poltergeist type of spirit or an intelligent spirit. I mean, even the residual energy they call hauntings. It's you just group it all into one class.
Okay. Gotcha. Sounds makes sense. So we've got I'm going to share some stuff and you can walk us through it. This is the fun part. Here this. Give me a second. I'm gonna stop this for a minute. I have to pull them up to the front so that I could see them to share them.
You're better than me. I can't screen share, so.
Where's my preview? I know I'm looking like I don't know what I'm doing, but I sort of do know what I'm doing.
Well, I know you do because you did it before.
I know they kind of went to the back, and I just have to figure out how to get them to come forward here. Move this over here. Oh, here's one of the previews. Window. Oh yeah, we got this. All right, I'm going to start with this. Well, there's four photos in this one batch.
Okay.
And you can explain what we're seeing. Can you see that on your screen?
So the first one that you see, that little thing coming out of the side of the doorway.
I'm going to use my, right here. This with
Right
the black
there.
with the little pink. Yeah.
If you look, that's somebody's head. Somebody from the church asked me to come to their house because he felt as though he had a spirit that came in on a bed. And he called her Monica. And we went there with our equipment, and I was taking pictures, and I just happened to catch that.
Was that Monica, you think?
Well,
No,
we
yeah.
talked to her, so I believe it was Monica.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very cool. So hey, Monica. And where are we here?
Okay, this is up in Winchendon. And that's a double orb. So that's two spirits joined together.
Okay. So they can you have a sense of what they're talking about or what they're communicating or anything about them, or are you just mostly observing them?
Actually, I'll tell you a little story too about that. When I go to take pictures, I don't bother to look at things until probably 2 weeks after I've taken the
Oh,
pictures, because that's when
okay.
the stuff shows up in the pictures.
Oh, it takes 2 weeks for them to show
Well,
up.
I mean, it could
Yeah.
have been there that night, but I didn't look at it that night. But I usually, like when I did the USS Salem and things like that, I always go back and look a couple of weeks afterwards. And that's when you start seeing things show up.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So here we have this. Where is this?
This is, I believe it's the Fairbanks house. And in those circles, you should be able to, and I see another one that I didn't point out. There's faces in those circles. You have to look at them closely. But
Right here.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, and then I see a very slight shadow
Yep.
of somebody right in the smaller circle attached to the bigger circle.
Yep.
And the faces sometimes are, oh, I can make it bigger. Okay, there's a little bit of a face there. That is very amazing. And they're not, they seem kind of, like you said, effervescence or
Yeah.
smoky.
Now that's taken with the thermal camera.
Okay,
So as you can see, spirits show up in the blue.
okay. And here we
And
have,
that would be a person to the side of it, a real person.
okay, okay. Oh, a real person is in the yellow.
Yeah, yellow, red.
Okay.
pink.
Okay, all right. Very nice. Let's stop sharing. I'll go to the next one. Actually, there was some questions that kind of came in while we were talking. So we were talking about the energy. We were talking about the energy. How would you describe the different energies? Do spirits bring out different energies with? I'm trying to understand the question, but as people, we have different energies about us, right? Somebody could be a light-hearted energy, other person's a heavy energy or whatever. Do spirits have different individual energy signatures with them?
I want to say yes to that. I mean, because some spirits, when you go into a house, they're like I said, one choked Kim.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we've had other ones that have just played like little tricks and things that, lighthearted
Yeah.
stuff. So I would say yes to that.
Okay. Oh, this Kim is coming along, asking about the Salem graveyard, which I think we have pictures of that.
Yes, we do.
Okay, we'll go there. And then last week we had a spiritualist historian on. She talked a lot about the knocking for the Fox sisters. That was what would you call that, a haunting? That would be physical mediumship.
Yeah.
Definitely. And okay, beautiful. I'm going to share. I get through all the comments. I'm going to share this screen, the next one. And see this beautiful purple, this image. What are we looking at here?
All right. So if you go, I want to say halfway down, you'll see a spirit face in there. It almost looks like there's a sword or something, but you'll see a spirit face in the middle of the picture.
Yeah.
You have to really look close at these things.
Yeah. Well, I kind of see the eye sockets, and I kind of see the nose and the shape of the face.
Yep.
And looks like something striped. I don't know what is behind him, steps, or is that part of the building around him, or
Honestly, I
structure?
don't remember. That's at the
know.
Shanley Hotel up in New York.
Oh, okay. All right. It looks like he's hiding behind the whatever that is. It's or it's peeking around. Curious, I suppose. And this next one.
And this is what well, actually, you can see the person laying in the bed on this one too. If you look to the bed all the way to the left-hand side, closest to the window, There was nobody in this bed. You can actually see somebody laying in the bed.
Yeah,
But
you
can also
can.
see the misty stuff too, that I was talking about. See all the misty stuff in there?
Yeah. And that misty stuff is
Is that
spirit.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
So you see somebody laying in the bed. I
Yep.
see, and it looks like almost like a woman.
Yeah, isn't it?
But on the right side, was that bed just not made? Because I was looking at the bed that on the right side under the
Which
white window.
one?
Can you see? I don't know if you can see my
No, that bed was
cursor.
actually made.
No kidding. All these beds
Yep.
were made because I was thinking there was some rumbles. I actually see two people at one on the beds across from each other, to be honest with you. One is kind of light and misty, and the other one actually looks like you can see
Oh,
their feet
yes.
and you could see.
Yes. Yeah, none of those beds were touched because we had not gone to bed yet. That's the room that
Okay.
we all slept in that night.
Okay. So they have crumpled covers and everything. It's very interesting. All right. How did you sleep that night?
Like a log. It didn't bother me. All right.
Oops, sorry.
This one here, a friend of mine was sitting in a chair. So the head that you see to the right-hand side, that's
Okay.
the actual person. But if
Okay.
you look on his lap, it looks like there's a child sitting on his lap, and then there's another head next to his.
Yeah. There's three heads there.
Yeah. But there
Yeah.
was only one person sitting there, a real person.
Wow. Was he aware that the spirits were around him, or was he sitting there?
No,
Okay.
like I said, this showed up in a picture 2 weeks later.
Wow. And those spirits are almost as clear as he is. Well, one is much fuzzier, but the other one looks almost as clear as he does.
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay, here's the next one.
And this is the person in the bed again.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the person in the bed, which I thought was a little bit misty and a little bit looking. But then I'm going to go back, if I can find it, to that picture. But can you see how there's another person in the bed across from it?
Yeah.
I just can't get over that. That's like amazing.
And
Yeah.
that's taken with that full spectrum digital camera.
The
that I got.
camera. Yeah. Yeah. And what is
And
this?
this is just a spirit light going across.
Okay. That was a very active, this is still the hotel in the one room. So
No, this is in another room. This is in the,
okay.
I believe this is in the, they had a bordello upstairs in that room. I believe that's
Oh.
one of the rooms that was used for a bordello.
Well, there's still some hot stuff going on in that room. But that's very, very cool.
And that's just an orb in the next picture that you
Yeah.
see the orb.
Yep. Yeah.
And that is one of the bordello rooms.
That orb looks like it has a frown on it.
I know, I was looking at that.
Yeah. Well, very nice. Very nice. That must have been a fun event. So you stayed overnight in the hotel.
We went there twice. That's how much we liked it there.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm gonna yeah, here's another one I'm gonna share. Here's the Shanley Hotel, the
Yeah,
actual
that's my group.
group.
I'm sure you know some of the people in the picture.
I am recognizing some of them for sure.
Yeah.
And here is
this is Lily Dale.
Oops, I'm sorry.
That's Lily Dale. That was taken in the pet cemetery about 1 o'clock in the morning. That was Marsha Johnson. We did a demonstration up there, table tipping, and she's in the red. But if you look to the left of her, you'll see quite a few faces in the left. One of them is very pronounced with the eyes and the nose.
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot of faces. So it's almost hard to figure it out. I went to Lilydale. I don't know if you was not in the pet cemetery, but they took me deep into the woods and not where they had that little fairy garden, not there, but deeper into the woods in a very more secluded area. Nobody really goes there.
Yeah.
And we sat there in the middle of the night and the fairies came out.
Oh,
And
nice.
bright colors, little tiny golds and greens and blues. It was just amazing. So there's a lot of activity in Lilydale is what I guess I'm saying.
Well, we
the
were going to go to
fairies.
the stump, but when we were sitting in the pet cemetery, there was wolves howling. And I said, Marsh, I think we need to get out of here. So we
Yeah.
didn't go down to the stump.
Okay.
Because
All right.
supposedly there's a lot that goes on at the stump too.
Oh,
So when I go up this time, I'm going up there.
okay.
Now,
is
this
this?
is that SLS camera I was talking about. You can see that there's a guy shaped in the blue on the right-hand side near the pink. That's
Yeah.
that's a real person.
Okay.
Now, the stick figure that you see to the left, that's a spirit. That's how they show up on the SLS camera.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so that was Lizzie Borden's house, I believe, down in the cellar.
How is Lizzie Borden's house? Is that very active?
No, not really.
Okay.
We didn't have much in there.
Okay. I think that was the last of.
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
wait. We have
Yeah.
a lot more. I missed let's see. I think we did
You did
some of
that.
these are repeats. Did that.
Yeah.
I think I just opened these twice. Oh, what's this?
This is the cemetery in Salem. Kim and I and Judy Ramos went at night. And to the right-hand side, you see two figures, and it looks like almost like they're holding flowers. It's two women, two spirit women holding flowers.
Let me look here. On the right-hand side.
I wish I could show you, but I can't.
Yeah, I wish I had a
See
little pointer
how
here.
it almost looks no, go over more. Right-hand side. Right-hand side. See where the bright lights are? Underneath the
right.
bright lights, you can see the two figures.
Right here. Yeah, they're holding. I gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's my other right. I see. Yeah, they're very they almost look like they're statues or something like that, but
No, they're not.
they're figures. Wow. It's amazing. Where are we here?
This is, you can see a face in the tree in between the two trunks.
Right here.
Yeah. See the eye and the nose and the mouth.
He's peeking out. It's like his mouth is wide open or something.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Wow. When you see them, of course you were taking pictures and then you saw them 2 weeks later, but did you have a sense of anything being there at all, or?
No, we felt like there was spirit in there. You know, you can feel the energy of the spirit when you're in the room.
Okay.
Or you're
Okay.
out wherever it is.
Okay. Here we go. Where are we here?
All right, now there's a face right in the center of the picture. You'll see the two eyes right there. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Looks like there's more than a face. It looked like this could be an entire body, maybe. Okay, keep going. Oh. Okay. No. What do you see?
That's the same picture.
Oh yeah. Okay, back to here.
Now,
Yeah, tell me about this one. Yeah.
this one, we were shooting a movie we wanted to try out for a ghost hunting show. And we went into St. Michael Cemetery in Rosendale at night, and they have mausoleums in there. And I just randomly shot a bunch of pictures, and this guy's head showed up in the picture.
Wow.
And then I went back a couple of days later and shot the same building, and there's nothing. All you can see is the bars. There's nothing.
And this is what you're looking at, this guy's head.
Yep.
Now let's comment on spirit or ghosts hanging out at cemeteries. Do you find that does happen often, or?
Oh yeah, we've gotten plenty of evidence at cemeteries.
Why would they
Especially with
hang
the
out?
ghost box. They like to talk in the ghost box at the cemetery.
Okay. Why would they hang out in the cemeteries? I would think that they were like, I'm just done with this. I'm not here. But
I
they
don't
do.
know, but they do.
Yeah. Oh, I love this one. Tell me about this. Is at the church, at Quincy Spiritualist Church. There's the
that's
angels
yeah,
and everything.
Yeah, that's a spirit light coming off of the trumpet.
Yeah. Did the trumpet move at all for you guys?
Not that night,
Just
no.
a spirit light. And what did you use to take this picture?
That was my full spectrum digital camera.
Okay. Very lovely. Yeah, because in the story, tell a little bit about the trumpet. The trumpet is very much a spiritualist tool. It's used a lot. It was used a lot earlier, and people. The idea is to meditate around the trumpet and have it move right. So
We used to, Marsha and I, when we used to do table, we used to sit with the trumpet with us, and we've actually had mist coming out of the sides of the trumpet, and the trumpet actually walked on the table by itself. You know,
nice.
you have to sit with first of all, you have to be a physical medium to have any sort of phenomenon like this. And you have to sit with it a long time. Like the table, when Marsha and I used to do the table, I'd say the first year it would spell out words. The second year it started walking. And then from there on, every year that we sat, we got more and more phenomena that went on with the table. So you have to be a physical medium in order to get it to work. The trumpet, in a regular seance, I don't know if you've ever been in a regular seance, it'll levitate and float around the room, and you'll have spirit voices coming out of it.
I have not seen that done. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it done. So Beth, how do you know if you're a physical medium? Is this something that you just are or you're not, or is it something that you could develop?
No, from what I was told, you have to be born a physical medium. And, you know,
Okay.
people can be mental mediums. And mostly it runs in the family, but you can learn how to pick up messages, even if you're not a regular medium. I mean, let's
Physical
face it.
medium. You can be a mental medium, but
Mental medium.
not
But
necessarily.
a physical medium, you have to have that. You have to be a
Okay.
physical medium to do it.
Do you feel like you have that in you a little bit, physical mediumship? Because I
Oh,
feel
I
like you
definitely
do.
have physical mediumship, because
Yeah.
if you
Table
saw
tipping.
what went on with the table and stuff like that, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome, Beth. When's the last time you did a seance like that? Circle like that?
Table one.
Mhm.
I did one during the pandemic when it first happened. I did a Zoom one for Mavis Patilla's Zoom students.
Oh, how'd that
I think
work?
it worked. I mean, we did it on Zoom before. It was, you know, it works just as well on Zoom as it does in person. If spirit has a message, they're going to come through whether you're on Zoom or you're sitting at a table. So,
Well, it's all electronics too, so that's there.
yeah.
All right. Thanks. Where are we here?
This is me at the podium, and you'll see a spirit mist. You know how I was talking about that mist? See it going right at my throat?
Yes, that's what it is, right? Okay, so this is your head, this are your
Yep.
shoulders, and this is the spirit mist.
Yep.
At the podium, are you talking while this is happening, or?
I think I was fooling around talking at
Okay.
the podium.
Okay. And the lights were out and you had the camera
Yep.
on the, yeah.
Yep.
Wow, it's amazing.
And this one here, you can see the mist draping over the windows going towards the back where the doors are.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, and can you see this?
Yeah, exactly. And it goes right towards the doors.
Yeah, these are the doors back here.
Yeah. And that was the same night that we got that video of the guy coming in the front door.
Right, she opened the door for him. Yeah, beautiful. This is amazing.
This was at a cemetery in Brockton. I just happened to catch it. You can see the faces. This one looks like it has a cloak on, and it's
Yeah.
behind a stone. And that one is a different face right there. That was
Okay, this is a different face.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this at night? It looks very bright, but this is nighttime?
No, actually that was daytime.
Okay.
That was about 6 o'clock at night, and it was still
Okay.
light. So
Oh, you can capture it during, okay. This is that camera, that's full spectrum camera.
mhm.
And we
And
covered
again,
this.
that's Marsha.
Yeah, we're back into what we've already,
And that's my
beautiful.
group.
Yeah, I think we've covered all the pictures that I have. Is that all the pictures you sent?
I don't remember.
There's a lot. So,
I know I sent you a lot. I don't remember.
yeah, those a lot. We looked at a lot, but those were all amazing pictures. The videos would be fascinating. Tell us where your website is so people can go see the videos on your website.
Actually, it's not a website. If they go on my Facebook page, Southwest Boston Paranormal Society, they'll see the videos. Also, I have another page. It's called Spirit Seekers, that has stuff on it too.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna rename you Betsy, and I'm gonna now it's called Southwest.
Southwest Boston Paranormal Society.
Did I get it right? Right, beautiful. That's your new name. So it, and so you can see Southwest Boston Paranormal Society, and that's a Facebook page. And then
Yep.
there's another Facebook page called
Spirit Seekers.
Spirit Seekers. Okay. I don't know if I can get that many. I'm curious to know if I can do that. I think I ran out of Spirit Seekers.
So this weekend, we're going up to the S.K. Pierce Mansion up in Gardner, which is supposed to be one of the most haunted places in Massachusetts. And my friends over at the USS Salem told us about it. They said that they got more stuff there, that it was amazing to go to. So
Wow.
we're really
Yeah.
looking forward to that this weekend.
Good, good. Do you take people on tours? Is this your group that you're just working with privately, or do you ever just invite people and they buy tickets and they go with you? Or
No, it's just our group that does it. I mean, if somebody wanted to tag along with this, they're more than welcome. I
Okay.
can't have a big gigantic crowd, but
yeah,
you know, if somebody wants to come once in a while, that's absolutely fine. But no, I don't do tickets.
okay.
And
Don't do anything like that. But people can reach out to you as Beth Columbo if they go to Southwest Boston Paranormal Society or Spirit Seekers.
Yeah.
I did that wrong. Hold on, I gotta figure that. I put the they can reach out to you, they can message you
Yeah.
through there
Mhm.
and ask you questions and things like that
Oh,
after
absolutely.
people listen to some of this conversation. I know there's a lot more questions. I've been checking our friend sure is amazed about the Gordon Higginson referral. He just can't get over that. And I think we've Kim says, what about the spirit telling you to leave the graveyard? What is that about?
Oh, that picture that you saw, I think it was the last picture we were looking at, that we were in the cemetery and you said it was bright. So we were there with two other friends of ours, and we were using the ghost box and stuff like that. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there, see if I can find it. Oh, wait, this one.
That one there. So that's the
Okay.
Melrose Cemetery in Brockton. So as we were in there, we were using the spirit box, and we were using some of our tools and stuff like that. And there was a car riding around that had 2 or 3 men in it or something. And it kept circling us. And then finally the ghost box said, it's time to get out of the cemetery. It said, get out, go move now. And Kim thinks that they were saying that because of the car and everything. So that's what
Okay.
she's talking about.
Okay. Very cool. So they were kind of, well,
They were warning
maybe
us.
warning you
Yeah.
that there's some bad guys out there.
Yep.
Get out. No, very, very,
And
very
you know
cool.
what was amazing? We asked the spirit box that day, do you hang out in the cemetery? And they said, no, the nursing home. Now, I didn't know it. I found out afterwards. Bordering this cemetery was an abandoned nursing home.
Oh,
So yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
and one of the a few people are coming out. This is very cool. And one of, I think, Tewksbury, there's the grave of the poverty, the grave of the unwanted, the unmarked graves, and they're from, some of them are from the Tewksbury mental health. It was indigent people or homeless people, and they and then they put them in the poverty, the poor man's grave, the unmarked grave. I've walked through that once, and there's a lot of sometimes it's very peaceful and calm, and sometimes you just can feel things kind of rustling up. That would be an interesting place to walk through. But would you rather not walk through something like that?
No, I would walk through it with the ghost box and see what they'd have
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot they have to say if they're unmarked graves. They're
Well,
not
I think
resting
so.
peacefully, I don't think.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought was that giving them a voice, and that kind of thing. Do you feel that sometimes you said, are they resting peacefully and they have things to say? Do you feel that sometimes spirit isn't, it hasn't transitioned to the heavenly side, and they are walking the earth trying to figure things out? What are your thoughts on that?
From what I've been told, like when there's sort of like something that's traumatic and they just haven't realized that they've crossed over, that can happen. I've been told, like when there was like that earthquake, all those people that perished in the earthquake,
Yeah.
that's going to be a problem, that they're going to be like hanging around there because they haven't realized they left yet. Things like
Okay.
that, like mass disasters and things like that.
Okay. Yeah. I had an interesting experience when 9/11 happened. This was, of course, a while back, where I was already doing healing work, always doing Reiki. I was already doing some spiritual work. And I had this sense of incredible organization from the higher spirits, working with the spirits who are transitioning really, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was amazed. It just was amazing. And then other people saw phenomena of I don't know, I forget what somebody saw something fly, I don't know, it was many birds or many dragonflies flying just above the water near the buildings and things like that. And so that was a miraculous connection between spirit, and spirit is during transition, mass transition. Do you think that could happen, or maybe it couldn't happen? It doesn't always happen.
I think it can happen. And I've doing mediumship. I've actually have gotten messages for people that have helped people acclimate themselves that don't
Mhm.
realize that they've, passed in an accident or passed in
Right.
that kind of a thing. So I do know that there's people that are up there helping people to acclimate once they get up there too.
Yeah, yeah. That's my sense of it. I mean, your grandmother was there. Oh, it was a drawing once that I did. This one little boy passed tragically in some kind of an accident. And his mom very distraught. And I think 11 or 12 years old. So was he alone? Because he was a kid. And I was drawing the face of this, and I couldn't get the face to go on right. The eye was all, I just couldn't draw it. I was kind of mad at myself until she said who was there with him, and I covered half the face, and she said, "That's my father." He had
Mhm.
just it was a spitting image of his father. And then when I covered the other side of the face, it was her son. And I said, "Well, that's who was there helping him. Your father was there every second of the whole thing and took him." So yeah, I mean, spirit, there are many loved ones or even just spirits that work to help people transition.
Right.
So I pray that, with war sites and that the earthquake sites, that there'll be um beautiful transitions. But have you ever helped someone transition yourself with some of the paranormal work that you've done?
Judy and I have done house clearings, a couple of house
Mhm.
clearings, and it's amazing what you end up learning when you're doing that. Like we did one where they were having problems in the house, and the owner of the house, it was a 3-family. The owner
Mhm.
of the house he knew something was going on. He went and put crosses on all the walls in the house,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
physical
yeah.
crosses, as well as did it with oil. It was the
Wow.
craziest thing I had ever seen. And through our mediumship, we found out that he recently put a big parking lot behind the house.
Mhm.
But we found out through the mediumship that there was 3 graves in that backyard.
Oh,
He dug the dirt and left a big pile of the dirt. And we believe that they were not happy because he disturbed the graves. So they told us if they would go out, the families would go out and lay flowers where that pile of dirt was, that they would be happy with that. And ever since that day, they have not had a problem in the house.
oh, what a wonderful story. That's what a wonderful story. I had, just checking again. And I, like I said, I haven't been in a house that hasn't been filled with spirit. And one of the houses that I had is a house that I own in Hudson. And I lived there for 5 years, and whoever was in the house was a man, didn't leave me alone, woke me up in the middle of the night, and my furnace would explode every night at 9 o'clock, except for daylight saving times, would explode at 10 o'clock. And
He was on his
and
pension.
and I had the the plumbers came in. Can you figure this out? There's nothing wrong with your furnace. And this happened the first night I slept there, and then this would wake me up in the middle. I'm like, oh, will you knock it off? And so come to find out, I made friends with the neighbor who was a fireman, and he was there for 30 years. He knew everybody and everything. And I said, wonder if I can get some information out of him without really giving the story away. And I said, there was one room in the house downstairs that was different than it's a 100-year-old house. It was still had all its old Victorian stuff, except for one room, which had a different kind of ceiling, everything. I said, what happened in this room? Why would they just redo one room? And it wasn't even a kitchen. He goes, oh, let me tell you. And there was a man in the house. He was estranged from his wife, but then he came down with lung cancer, and she brought him back in the house, and he would just stay in that back room with his oxygen, and he still smoked, which is not typical of many people struggling. It's kind of
Did he blow himself up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He blew himself up, passed in the hospital, and it happened in the evening. And he did, and he didn't last very long. But he blows the furnace up.
That's actually common, because I was an EMT and we used to go to a lot of those calls, people smoking with their oxygen on, and they'd blow themselves up.
They don't want to be around anymore. That's what the fireman thought. He thought that was going on, because there's a house down the street while I was living there that blew up. Same situation. She had the oxygen, she had the in any event, and then they built the house up really nice. But in any event, that was, so I kind of did some research, and I found out his name, and he had no qualms about, he wasn't going to leave. And so I said, well, listen, I ended up renting it. I said, you got a couple choices here. You can either help me find the right person for you, or you're going to be in conflict all the time. But I'm the one that owns the house right now. And so we had only had a couple families living there. And he would, there was one was a family of 4, we had 4 kids. And I always had the woman asked me, is this place haunted? And I said, why do you say that? Well, her fan would go off in the middle of the night. Every night she'd turn it on. It was hot, and then off for no reason. She'd have to go, she'd turn it back on. So they were having a fan war, and it was really, and I said, it's harmless. I said, yes, somebody did die in the house, and he's very nice guy. And then I had a talk with him. I said, you better be nice to those people. But
Oh, goodness.
But anyway, this has been a wonderful, wonderful chat. Do you have anything you want to add before we got to wrap it up just in a couple of minutes? And there's so much to talk about.
I don't know. I think we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Come and see me up in Lilydale.
Yeah.
That's I'd like to have people come up there.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to Lilydale, it's a treat. Nancy will tell you.
Oh, yeah. And you were saying August 23rd. Yes, August 23rd. And yeah, so if you want to go up, that it's a beautiful vista. It's an old, everything is at the turn of the century. Nothing's really been updated. Well, the electrical's been updated, that kind of thing, but it's you really capture a time and place in time where spiritualists are really, really active. And it's always going to be a treat when you go up there. So going up there for Beth's work would be phenomenal. What are you doing at the Billerica Spiritualist Church on October 1st? You serving there, or is there something else going on there?
I'm serving there, but I'm also going to teach that class there for Reverend Chris. So.
Oh, what class is that?
All things paranormal.
Oh, okay. So that went right over my head. Oh, okay. So look at the Spiritualist Church in Billerica. That's also on Facebook. October 1st, All Things Paranormal. Really recommend it. It's a good space. It's a very large space. So the room for lots of people. So go on down. I'll make sure that I post that too when we get close to the time to remind everybody. So it's been great having you. Maybe you'll come on again later and tell us some more stories, but wish you all the best, and
you.
getting ordained soon.
Yes, it's been changed to June 11th, but it was supposed to be originally April 23rd, but it's June 11th because
Okay.
Reverend Joe Shields has taken over.
Yeah.
Wants to be at the ordination, so they've moved it, but that's good. I'm excited.
Yeah, well,
2 years,
congratulations.
you
It's been
know.
a lot of work, a lot of
Yeah.
changes too while you were going through. You're stepping into some big shoes as we,
Yeah.
between. But I'm really excited. And I really am excited about your work as a physical mediumship. I hope you keep that up. To work that. Really want to see, I'd love to be part of that, to see you kind of blossom in that some more. So we're rooting for you. And I just want to remind everybody that use your resources. That every week I bring you some new resources. Reach out to Beth. Beth is a medium. Beth, if she had any questions, please ask her. And then you can reach out to me also at angelscapes.net or Facebook me. That's Facebook means sending a direct message to me, and I can reach out to Beth as well if you have questions. So don't be shy, because every time we talk, every time we learn something, you grow more. And this is about growing and learning and expanding your life and learning that there's more to life than going to work and coming home. And so thank you so much for coming on, Beth. And I hope you hear from a bunch of people, and
All right,
appreciate your time. Really appreciate your time. So good night, everybody.
Thank you for joining the Angelscapes podcast. We hope you've gained new insights and inspiration for your journey to uncover and access your soul's power. For more information and a deeper dive into finding clarity in your life, go to angelscapes.com. Remember to subscribe so you can be part of the discussion. It may just change your life. See you next time.